Hello and welcome, Silrace here, we're dissecting the Dawn of War 3 trailer. Now, couple things before I get to the dissecting the trailer itself. Firstly, people these days seem to want to do the whole webcam thing when they do this whole trailer business, so I've decided to involve the Teddy. The gas mask wearing Teddy is in for this particular one. You are welcome. Another thing is that I am in no way part of actual development or design of Dawn of War 3. This is purely my opinion based on the trailer, and also it is skewed maybe a little bit by what I have seen on the Dawn of War website as well. But yeah, let's talk about the trailer in this one as much as possible. Know that I have visited Dawn of War website, and that might show up in some of the things I say. And finally, as this is entirely my view and opinion on it, I will apologize to Relic if some of the things I say here are not how they came to actually be in the particular trailer and in the game itself. But this is, I can only tell it as I say it, and while I do trust you guys to hopefully pull this off and make this really good, I will have reservations until I actually get to play the game, until I actually get to see it all myself. That's just how I am. So let's get to the trailer itself. Now, after a little bit of contemplating, I decided that I will use certain still images taken from the trailer instead of the actual full trailer itself. This is to help me illustrate what I'm talking about and also talk about the specific things I really want to talk about in the trailer, which to me were really interesting. Firstly, Blood Ravens. Now, this is where I have my first reservation. Frankly, Blood Ravens are a kind of unknown chapter of Space Marines. Like, they are not Codex Astartes at all. They are, essentially you could say that they are an offshoot of Blood Angels, kind of. It's one of these chapters which is like, oh, our origins are shrouded in mystery and all that stuff. But there is also one nice thing about Blood Ravens, which might come to play, and which I'm going to talk about at the very end of this video after I have dissected the trailer pieces which I have wanted to dissect, and I will get to that then. So, Blood Ravens, those are going to be the Space Marines present in this particular title here, and I'll admit I am surprised about that. I am hoping this was Relic's decision instead of Games Workshop essentially coming and saying that, okay, you have to use one of the Blood Angels, you know, either Blood Angels or Blood Angels successor chapter as your Marines, because Blood Angels got their own codex for our miniature game. I'm hoping this is Relic's own decision. Now that is a whole lot of chainswords. This is where already very clear illustration that the Blood Ravens are not your average Codex Astartes, you know, Space Marine chapter. If you, for example, look at Ultramarines, where the Sergeant is the one with the bolt pistol and chainsword, and everybody else is wielding a bolt or a bolt gun, yeah, this is different, right? You have more than one chainsword right here, for example, in this particular screen. Is this an indication that in the game itself we will have actually Space Marines wanting to get into melee more? This could be, very much so, where we have tactical Marines armed with bolt pistols and chainswords instead of bolters, and that could be very interesting. And orcs. I honestly think we saw too little of the orcs in this particular trailer. We saw an orc wielding melee weapon. We saw another orc wielding a melee weapon. We didn't see any of their ranged weaponry. Or what kind of ranged weaponry are being brought into this one. That would have been nifty to see from the trailer itself. I would have liked that, but there is not too much to say about the orcs. Everybody knows space orcs. And everybody loves space orcs because they are hilarious and they are always fun. Howling Banshees. There is basically nothing else which you would use to represent the Eldar in a cinematic experience like this. Then Howling Banshees, possibly the Wave Serpent, and obviously the Wraith Lord, which we also see in this trailer a little bit later. Now, I will admit that for a very brief moment there when I saw this, I was like, okay, please let it be Harlequins instead of Eldar, but in all honesty it just makes so much more sense that it is Eldar and not Harlequins. But I can still hope a little bit here and there. Now, here is also where I got really excited about just how gritty they made the armor look and all that stuff. I am hoping that translates well into the game itself too. That would be nice. Now, this had me scratching my head a little bit. Like, what's up with Howling Banshees in games? I didn't quite get that. Like, the CGI is nice, well done, thank you, it was awesome looking, but really, in caves. Then it dawned to me also that this could be Craft World Eanden stuff. Are we going to see that particular craft world, the Eanden, as the main craft world of choice for the Eldar to be in this particular game? Maybe? I don't know. But still, it had me scratching my head a little bit. Really? Is that True Grit I am seeing on a Blood Raven? True Grit being the term for a Space Marine capable of firing a bolter one-handed, because that looks like a bolter to me, not a bolt pistol. So, is this where we are going now? Where the, well, you know, Blood Ravens, Blood Angels, everybody else is firing bolters with one-handed, which used to be the Space Wolf specialty. Anyways, as you are seeing on this particular still as well, more than one chainsword. Granted, the sergeant at the front has the chainsword, but the other two guys, one in the rear and one on the far left, also has a chainsword. And funnily enough, they seem to be wielding them with two hands. Another thing of note here, there has been no Mark I helmets in the entire trailer. Have those been banned entirely? What has happened here? I would have loved to see Mark I helmets. At least one or two of them, and I would well, I'll freely admit, I would love to see a few of them in the game itself as well. Not purely these new helmets. Now this is where I was a little bit excited for a short moment, because I was like, oh, that's a Killacan, not a Death Dread. But, obviously it being CGI trailer and all that stuff, in all honesty, it could be either. Just from purely the trailer perspective, it could be either. Just the weaponry and the way it moved, it was more of like a, that's a Killacan, not a Death Dread, right? Anyway, who knows what we get exactly in the game? Well, the developers obviously know, but still, I am kind of hoping we could get a chance at both Death Dreads and Killacans, because that would be interesting. That would be something really new. Oh, Wraith Lord, why are you so awesome? And why you make so much sense to be put in a cinematic trailer like this? Because, well, it is an iconic piece of Eldar, that's for sure. But also because it's a massive machine, and so far, firstly we saw the, well, Killacan slash Death Dread, whichever one it ends up being actually. Then we did indeed see this one as in Wraith Lord, and then we get to see the Imperial version of a big piece of war machine afterwards as well. This is where the massive disappointment set in for me. We get to see a Death Dread slash Killacan, whichever it is actually, and an avatar. And then instead of seeing Space Marine Dreadnought, we get to see an Imperial Knight. Like, this to me just was like, okay, so Games Workshop said, guys, you have to promote our most expensive miniature, which is basically came up with a little while ago. So please promote it for us, thank you. This really feels like it. I mean, consider the iconic war machines we saw so far. It's like we have seen the iconic races of Marines, Eldar and Orcs, and we have seen their, well, both the Orc and Eldar iconic war machines, the Death Dreads, well, maybe it's a Killacan, and an Avatar, and then we see an Imperial Knight, which is nowhere has the history and the status of awesome and iconic as the Imperial Dreadnought would have been at this particular point in the trailer. Because it would have been the straight continuation of like, okay, awesome, awesome, wait, what's this? I have never even seen this if I am an old veteran of, you know, Warhammer, but I haven't really kept in touch with what Games Workshop has been doing of late. And this one I just wanted to throw in here because it's like, obviously it's nice and explosive and all that stuff, but in all honesty, to me it made no sense whatsoever that you have a Space Marine with a chainsword standing underneath the falling pieces of the Wraith Lord. It was like, why? Just why? I don't get it and don't understand why. Somebody please explain to me why. Alright, so let's move on to post-trailer dissection talk. Talk about some of the other things, concerns I have and so forth. Firstly, awesome trailer, I really enjoyed it. However, no gameplay footage whatsoever. If this game is still coming out in 2016 like they're saying it is coming out, that is kind of scary. We are almost halfway through 2016 and you weren't confident enough to show gameplay as part of the trailer, and to me that is a little bit scary. It is a little bit scary, alright? Anyway, moving on to the next bad, which is, I'll just say it again, I am dissatisfied, I am a little bit annoyed that we saw an Imperial Knight over the much more iconic Space Marine Dreadnought. Alright? Because I am afraid, this is just the gut feeling I got when I first saw the Imperial Knight in the trailer, that, well, Games Workshop has increased its prices for its miniatures over the years, but that's another talk. Now, they came up with even more expensive miniature, which isn't selling very well, so they got it really, guys, you're making this game, you have to promote these models for us. I am truly hoping that wasn't the case, that really consciously decided, okay, we are using Imperial Knight, this is the cool new thing, instead of Games Workshop pressuring them to do so. But obviously there is doubt in my mind about it, a little bit at least. So let's move on to other things. Lack of chaos. To me, Warhammer Fantasy and Warhammer 40k worlds do not work without chaos. Which is why I'm hoping this trailer was all about the single player campaign, which might not have chaos in it at all. I am okay with that. But chaos needs to be in for the multiplayer. Because frankly, if you read anything about Warhammer 40k, you know the corruption is everywhere, the influence of the demons is a constant threat, all that stuff. The warp is a big bloody problem. And so chaos needs to be in. However, it's not in the trailer, and to me that was like, okay, what are they doing with chaos? Is it pre-order thing? Is it day one DLC? Is it a DLC down the line? Probably. I am at least hoping it's not pre-order or day one DLC. Please don't do that to me, thank you. Because if it's day one DLC, I might not be playing this game just on principle, even though I really want to. Anyway. Chaos needs to be in some form, and I'm foreseeing it coming as a later DLC thing, maybe. Or, if they really want to please the fans, then Chaos is a free expansion later on for everybody. That would be a brilliant move, which would suddenly garner them a whole lot of goodwill, and everybody would be jumping on this game. Like, straight up. Well, anyway. So lack of chaos, a little bit sketchy. I am okay actually with leaving out all these other things. however you wanna pronounce the name, Necrons, Tyranids, completely okay to leave those out, even though to me Tyranids are one of the core races of the 40k universe, but it's okay to leave them out when you're making a game like this, whereas in my honest opinion, if you are involving Space Marines, you need to involve Chaos, because the Chaos Space Marines are kind of the balancing factor of the Space Marines. And here is where Blood Ravens to me come in. This is free, you know, way for you folks to, at Relic, if you happen to be watching this video, to introduce, you know, Chaos in. Because if you look through the chapter history of Blood Ravens, you realize that it's one of these tragic histories where basically a demon spawn, a corrupted guy, manages to take over as the chapter master, and there is a bloody civil war within the chapter itself. This could be the way they introduce chaos, and I really hope it is. That somebody is like, okay, we're gonna use Blood Ravens because that's how we can introduce the demons in. We can get the chaos in through this. Right? That sounds brilliant. I'm hoping this isn't the case. And if it's not, please guys at Relic, please take this idea and run away with it, because that would be brilliant, alright? Do that, thank you. And eventually, obviously, add in some more stuff for us to do in multiplayer. Overall, thoughts on the trailer, I liked it. Couple things I have mentioned which I am disappointed with, and the lack of gameplay, a little bit scary to me, well, considering we are almost halfway through the year already. So let's hope we get a gameplay trailer sometime soon, which details hopefully a little bit of the, well, changes they have been doing to the gameplay and all that good stuff. Thank you very, very much for watching. This was my thoughts on the trailer and some of the other things and so forth. As said, thank you very, very much for watching.